We're going live. It's my Friday song. Okay, I'm not sure where everybody joined me during that. That was an original composition. No copyright errors. Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a great day so far. Excited that we're getting together today to talk a little bit more about some positive eco news. Now, the one irony about positive eco news is you can't have it without having some negative eco news. But that's okay because the negative eco news is what we see around us all the day, all the time. It's what everybody talks about, focuses on. So, what we want to talk about is the other side of the problem, which is what we like to focus on as environmentalists solutions. Because, hey, you got to have some positivity in the day. There's so many amazing things happening right now. So, today, we wanted to talk about, well, first, let's start with the problem and then let's talk with an amazing solution. So, one of the biggest issues facing nature right now, as most people will tell you, is pollinators. Now, U.S. honeybees are on a very dangerous decline. And this graph here will show you sort of how bad things have got between 2016 and 2023. So we are losing pollinators. Now, everybody knows the importance of bees. Everybody knows the importance of pollinators. Luckily, they've got a lot of attention over the last few years, but they need more attention. The pollinators are disappearing. And if the pollinators disappear, so does the majority of our food. As a matter of fact, a lot of companies that grow food say that losing the pollinators could create a huge food crisis. So what is happening? Why are we losing these pollinators? According to the food producers, the two problems that we are encountering, one is pesticides, two is climate change. So what are they going to do? These people have a vested interest in maintaining healthy organic crops. That's their business. Luckily, somebody's business, so somebody's going to continue to fight for that. So what is happening? Why is this so bad? Well, the reason is we use over 1 billion pounds of pesticide in a year. Now, the pesticide that's most widely commonly used is called a neonicotinoid. Now, if that sounds familiar, it is. It is. It's the exact, almost the exact same chemical compound makeup as nicotine. Right. So, and it was actually designed by Shell Oil and Bayer, Bayer company in the 1980s. It's the most widely used pesticide there is. It is allowed to be used. The problem with it is this particular type of pesticide, this neonicotinoid, also known as a neonic for short. And you know what? Let's not be so formal. Let's just call them neonics. It's a little easier for me. What are neonics used for? Let's just talk about it right now. We're talking about over 1 billion pounds of pesticides. Check this out. This is what the neonicotinoids, aka as we're now casual with them, the neonics, are used for. So that is corn, soybean, cotton, vegetables and fruit, orchard, grapes, wheat, rice, pasture, hay, and other crops. Literally everything you eat. So there we go. These pesticides are being used on every crop that we have available to us. So why is it so bad? What is a neonicotinoid? Now, I wanted to bring this up. Don't worry, we're going to get to the good news very shortly. But it's important that we all understand it. We talk about pesticides, but we don't talk about the fact that it is basically the same chemical compound as nicotine. We have friends and family members that are ingesting this voluntarily, and the rest of us are ingesting it involuntarily, and all of us are potentially ending up with a lot of diseases as a result. So a neonicotinoid is basically, neonics are a class of synthetic neurotoxic insecticides, neurotoxic, just that's an important word, insecticides that are used on agricultural crops, lawns, gardens, and golf courses, also in flea and tick pet treatments. So there may be more neonics in your life than you're aware of. Flea and tick treatments may not be as okay as people once thought they were a while back. Now, the way they work, this is the really important part. The way they work is by permanently binding to the nerve cells of the insects, overstimulating and destroying them. Exposed insects often exhibit uncontrollable shaking and twitching, followed by paralysis before eventually dying. Even at non-lethal doses, neonics can weaken critical functions such as insects' immune systems, navigation, stamina, memory, and fertility. And if we think about it and draw the long bow here, those are all side effects we see associated with nicotine as well. So what's happening is we're using these pesticides, which are destroying the internal systems and killing the pollinators. Now, let me see here. I have a little bit of information on it. Okay, so we get into this. Okay, so there are a bunch of other chemicals as well in this same family. By the way, it's not just this one particular nicotinoid that's being used. They say that this is the most dangerous one. There's been actually hundreds of studies and a lot of academic assessments, Cornell University, and even a major pesticide industry funded field study. All of them point to neonics as the leading cause of massive bee and pollinator die-offs around the globe. So we know the problem. We know the source of it. Thank you, Schellenberg. We know the result of it. We know how we're all getting sick, and we see how other people are getting sick. And we know all of this. Now, in the end, before we jump to the good news, I want to talk about why the neonicotinoids are so bad. They are used in first place. Okay, so basically, the problem is they kill indiscriminately, which means it's a pesticide that's going to get into the system of everything that gets in contact with it and kill that thing. So it is not only stopping, say, aphids or something that a farmer needs to have stopped, which is what pest control is supposed to be about, not indiscriminately killing everything, but not only will they kill pests, but they'll also kill butterflies, bees, other wildlife. Since their introduction, neonics have made the U.S. agriculture nearly 50 times more harmful to insect life. So when we look around again, we wonder why the pollinators are having such a hard time. We see these wonderful programs where people are planting pollination, pollinator plants to try to help pollinators on their way. We're very conscious of pollinators, but we need to take it one more step and realize that we're allowing our food supply to be poisoned by a nicotine-like substance that will destroy immune systems, fertility, all these other issues, and is also indiscriminately killing everything it gets in touch with. And that includes our pollinators. Now, the problem is they're also systemic pesticides, which means they can be applied directly to the soil. So now you've got it in the soil. It's going to be in the soil for quite a while, and it's going to last in all of it. It's going to get into the water. It's going to get into the runoff, and it's going to be passed on to as many different, unfortunately, as many different species as possible. And we have to also remember, not only is it the pollinators and the bugs, but they're also eaten by birds and other places. So we're taking this endocrine disruptor and we are introducing it into the food chain as a way to maximize the profit of the farmer. Yeah, we need to find a better balance, I think. I'd love to hear what you think about that. Now, this is where it becomes a beautiful story. So we have all these problems. Everything is against us. Mostly industries have been working for profit, but industries are starting to change the way that they work. And a lot of them now are starting to demand better, more organic foods. Why? Because we do as consumers. So this is very exciting. Kroger and Whole Foods have said that from now on, companies have to prove that no neonics are used in the food that they buy for all of their brands. And I wanted to show everybody, in case you don't have a Kroger near you, I didn't know it'd be a see-through. These are some of the brands for Kroger. So you can take a look and you can see these are all the brands that Kroger owns. So you definitely have one of those in your hometown. Magic, I'm back. And as well as Whole Foods. If you don't shop at Whole Foods, they usually get a lot of scrutiny and a lot of people give them quite a bit of a hard time, but they have very They're very integrity based with a lot of their food. Not all, but they're getting better and they're getting better. So this is a major step. Now, the cooperation is beautiful because you have activists. We're always over here screaming for a better environment, but you have businesses now. 2,000 of us can stop buying Neonic foods. That will make a big impact. And that's going to teach a company what happens. But if an entire purchasing unit of Whole Foods, JC, Ralph's is where I always shopped in California, Kroger, you name it, any of those brands, Food for Less, if that's a massive buying power, if they demand no more Neonics, that's how we change the system. We need to start working with people we maybe have considered the enemy previously in our activism and in our things. We need to reach out and we need to talk to them and we need to explain to them why. And they're seeing a bigger picture. We're in a new world. There's a bigger picture. They're seeing it. These two supermarket chains, owners, just by eliminating all Neonic foods by 2025 and forcing their producers to prove what insecticides they use and lab results of that food before they will put it on their shelves. That is a level of scrutiny that I think maybe all of us thought was in place before. So it's fantastic that it is now. Hey, Maxwell, thank you for joining us today. And I see Sierra there. Sierra is my producing partner, works on all my projects and also works on all of our activism projects, direct in the field projects, and is an amazing partner. We've gotten some incredible things coming up to share with everybody as well. So I just wanted to say hi to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming in to watch. So this is where we are today. We are going to see the elimination of allowing foods grown with pesticides called neonicotinoids any longer in food at Whole Foods and Kroger brands by 2025. Now, will they deliver on that promise? That remains to be seen. That's next year's. We'll have to come back and do an episode next year. Maybe we'll go to Whole Foods and see if we can find anything that is from there. But as of now, it's an amazing step forward, and it shows a great hope that if we keep buying healthy, we keep demanding healthy, companies are going to listen. They want your dollars. They don't have politics. They don't care. Companies want your money. They want to find out what you want, and they want to feed it to you. So that is what we have to remember. We have all the power. They're the conduit. We're not choosing from them. We need to make them give us our choices, and it's happening. So there we go. Great news. So very positive eco news. Goodbye, Neonics. Hello, pollinators. We have to save our pollinators. There are so many amazing programs. I encourage everybody to check in your local area. You will probably find some form of a pollinator program or people that can help you find local plants that you can also plant to help pollinators along their way on their journeys. They're running out of food because of climate change, and they're being killed off rapidly because of our chemical use. So we need to do what we can for them. So you can either start to shop at companies that are being conscious of neonicotinoids, or you can plant pollinator type plants in your yard and help them along the way. Either way, everybody loves them. We all need them. We all now know that. We're all conscious of it. And that alone is an amazing step forward to saving them. We have to, very often, Sarah and I talk a lot about the fact that too often things are determined to be in danger when it's too late. One example we always bring up is the vaquita. It's a sad thing, but unfortunately, there was not a lot of action around saving the vaquita until there were about 20 to 50 left, or 100. There's no coming back from that. We need to fear extinction way earlier and deal with it, especially for the causes of it. Two-pronged approach to the extinction that we've created. Now we have a two-pronged approach to saving it and stopping it. So great positive eco news today. Really curious to see what everybody thinks. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about pesticides. Do we need them? Are they important? If they are important, are there natural pesticides we can use instead? What do you look for when you're shopping with pesticides? Let's talk a little bit more about health. Let's talk about one of the hidden dangers, pesticides. A lot of people talk about the glyphosates. Let's talk about the pesticides, and let's talk about how that works. And by the way, earlier were talking about this, and Sierra made a great point that glyphosate and the pesticides that are used have this chemical compound, and that's going into sugar. And is it possible that since it has a similar chemical makeup as nicotine, that it's adding an addictive quality to sugar that may or may not happen in nature, in the wild? So another thing to kind of contemplate: how far are these pesticides spreading? So what's your food advice? How do you shop healthy? How do you avoid pesticides? Let us know. I'd love to hear this conversation. The more we can learn from each other, the safer we're going to be, the further we're going to go, and the better the world will be. Together, we are one giant encyclopedia. So let's share all of our knowledge together. So great news. We're seeing motion forward. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day. Think about positive eco news, positive ways. Have a